Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Ollie, thank you for your channel and telling other people's stories. Maybe it's fear of repercussions or not being far enough along in my own journey towards healing. However, I wish to remain anonymous. I have many stories to tell and contribute to deal with the aftermath of near total annihilation by the narcs in my life. Denial used to be a tolerable place compared to the agony of feeling the extent of the damage done to me. The further I progress in therapy and my support group, the more I grieve for the loss of the person I could have been without the abuse. To be fair, we all have bad things happen to us, and I've always believed myself to be weaker than others because they seem to be able to take abuse and either not notice it at all or let it roll off their backs. Whatever that quality is, I lack it. It sinks to the lowest part of my soul like acid and eats away at my personhood from the inside out. That said, I'm learning how to be more assertive and put the guilt and shame back where it belongs, on the persons who abused me. The only way I've been able to keep from wanting to die is to stay away from people who do the damage. Most are no contact and the rest are very little contact, and I never share personal information with them or anyone who might be a flying monkey. The story I want to tell is a religious story. I remember going to church 3 to 5 times a week my whole childhood, more if there was a revival. I can totally knock the church or my parents because they didn't. I can't totally knock the church or my parents because they did introduce me to God, and many times my fragile faith in a loving entity be bigger than myself and my abusers is the only thing that kept me from ending it. I would consider the church a cult. My parents are loving people, but they were both children of alcoholics with strong narc tendencies. It's possible one or both of my parents could be covert narcs. However, they do respect my boundaries. I keep my emotional distance even from them. I remember seeing multiple exorcisms as a 4 to 8 year old that terrified me. Okay, well, if your parents are going to a church that is a cult, and they're standing there as grown-ass adults watching exorcism, your parents are abusive idiots. Okay? They're abusive idiots. And whatever version of God you think you were introduced to in that cult, you weren't. If you have a relationship with God or spiritual that has nothing to do with this, don't give narcissists credit they don't deserve. The only thing that a church is going to do is make you say, oh, well, it's not, they respected my boundaries and I did get something out of it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. The most terrifying one was an older teenage boy. One of my earliest memories on this planet was him attempting to molest me. Multiple kids in our small sheltered group were molested by him. Nothing ever happened to him or his family except he was beaten by his abusive dad. The church preferred to handle those type of things internally. Oh, don't they? They still do, don't they? And they do such a good job, these churches, dealing with these things internally. I'm becoming more and more convinced the entire religion system as of present day, and probably for the last at least 100 years, has been based around abusing children. It's like I'm afraid to use the P word anymore because then the video is going to get flagged. That's where we are right now. That's what it's about. I mean, you look what's going on in the Catholic Church now. You look at these bishops Thank God there's some of them trying to do the right thing, and the other ones are like, you're going against God if you talk about your abuse. They're all a cult as far as I'm concerned. And I'm someone who's been screaming that since the 90s. I never bought any of these churches bullshit. Any of them. And that was something that caused a lot of friction in my old life. With my ex-wife's parents, with some of my friends. Oh, dude, you got to go to church. No, dude, they're a bunch of kid touchers. No, they're a bunch of lying, hypocritical kid touchers. No. Yeah, they are. The church preferred to handle the type of things internally. The entire family is still good friends of all my family, like nothing ever happened. And you say your family doesn't cross boundaries, huh? Really? Really? I think the boundary of you getting molested is a pretty strong one. Then bringing in the family of the molester, all under the guise of what? Religion? This fucking cult? Don't give the narcissist credit they don't deserve. Stop giving them credit for things they never did. This, along with finding a plethora of other kind of pornography imaginable at another church member's house, damaged my sexuality profoundly. I have struggled my entire life to have a normal sex life, or a life in general. I also had a female babysitter who made us come in the bathroom with her while she showered. There was no logical reason to do this, because she could have showered at another time and left stuff in the living room for 10 minutes. That never made sense to me, and it added to my confusion about sexual things. Because that's what the cult was about. That's what the church, and that's who your parents were bringing in. These sexual predators. All under the guise of a fucking religion. And whether it was your church or just the regular Catholic church, this shit has been going on for decades now. Add to that other kids in my group becoming perpetrators of sexual abuse towards me, and it's no wonder I have issues. They were becoming perpetrators on each other. I think it's everybody in the group on everybody, because that's what these fucking churches are really about. That's what they're really about. So you don't give credit to your parents for introducing you to any of this. You don't say, I got my relationship with God. No, you didn't. You got a relationship with God despite this. There are a few things that bother me still. The greatest revelation I had recently is my anger towards my parents for going on and staying involved in a group such as this. By the time I was an adult, many more radical beliefs had died down, and my parents renounced many of the things they were part of before. But they still believe, they still believe in the core beliefs of that group. Gee, once you were old enough not to get molested, now they denounce it? Wow, isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient, huh? Weird. I'm telling this story because it's so common for sexual abuse to happen in cults, and lifelong damage is profound. This laid the groundwork for me making some horrible decisions in my life. There are days when I look at my children and grieve the damage I've done to them with my enabling and emotional distance. I'm trying to make amends, but I'm not sure how to do that at this point without them feeling like I'm trying to manipulate them, but that's a story for another time. Well, if you've done some damage with your children, you're going to have to take that slow. The further I get in the recovery, the angrier I feel. I don't like being angry because I don't want to be anything like the people who abuse me. It's a different type of anger. You need your anger. You need your anger, and your anger is at your parents because your parents' story is bullshit. They're grown-ass adults getting involved in some kind of fucking sex cult where their children are being, and where their daughter's being abused, and they knew it. And you know they knew it. And they continue to be friends with the people. And you're telling me they haven't crossed any boundaries? Stop giving them credit for things they don't deserve. However, angry feels better than powerless and scared. Exactly. My question for today is it ever going to be possible to live a normal life removed from the confusion and anger? Why is it easier to be angry and blame myself rather than my abusers? I appreciate you being willing to hear our stories. It matters. Right now I'm struggling financially, but I did send what I could. Please don't give up on this channel or those of us who have a voice through you. Much love, Anonymous. Your anger is directed at yourself because you are not far enough away from the problem. You have not cut the source out yet. Once you cut the source of the issue completely out through no contact, your anger will then be focused on them. The reason why you're angry at yourself is because you're giving them credit for things they didn't do. You're giving them credit for things they don't deserve. That's why. Are you ever going to be over this? No. Nor should you be. This is decades of abuse. You can't snap a finger and make it go away. What you can do is understand the source and why it happened. And it happened because your parents wanted it to happen. It happened because your parents turned the other cheek. It happened. It happened. And you are giving them credit by minimizing what happened by saying, "Oh, well, I got a relationship with God, and they do respect my boundaries." Fuck that. As they're still friends with the family of the kid who molested you? I don't think so. Stop giving them credit for things they don't deserve, and your anger will be focused on where it belongs. Cut them out completely, and you'll be able to refocus your anger on them, because with complete no contact comes complete clarity. That's the best thing you can do for your children, is to cut out the source of the problem, and you will see what clarity brings you. Stop giving them credit for things they don't deserve, and you will see the clarity come. Trust me on this. So, I hope that helps. Thank you for your contribution and your story, Anonymous. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance.